Somehow, Frank, we have found ourselves here in Toronto on the outside of all the major weather for the last little while, and today is no different.
Yeah, here's a look just to the west of the city of Toronto. There's a look at Stratford this morning. I'm going to show you what's going on in terms of what conditions we have out there. First off, we do have a travel advisory that impacts areas of London through to Oxford, Brant, including places like Stratford, as we are seeing a significant band of snow this morning that's not impacting the city of Toronto. And as you mentioned, it seems like we're in the middle. Indeed, we are in the middle because we're also watching another system that's moving its way up towards the northeast. This is a nor'easter that's pushing its way in through New York City. The impact it has on us here in Toronto is it does keep us underneath overcast skies and also puts us into the risk of on and off rain snow mix through the day into some wet snow tonight, possible flurries into tomorrow morning, and that will continue that trend of on and off activity all the way through into Friday and cloud cover as well. Temperatures right now, the freezing mark -2 into Hamilton, -1 over towards London. We take a look over towards the east of us, -2 Ottawa, +1 in through Kingston. Wind chills on average, I want you to dress for about -3. The winds just backed off here in Toronto, but they will get breezy through the afternoon, about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour with a daytime high of 3 degrees. +1 tomorrow, and then into Friday, that is, we'll see daytime highs right around 3 degrees. Cloud cover, still with some overcast skies into Saturday, but finally breaking some of that up into Sunday. We should see sunshine. Monday, daytime highs of 2, but again into some flurries. And I'm watching another system Tuesday night into Wednesday. Carrie, over to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Frankie. Well, right now, road conditions are great across the GTA, so we're not spotting any issues. Just typical volume delays building on your major routes like the westbound 401 here, starting to slow down from Morningside over to Kennedy, alternately express and collectors, but still pretty good as you head into and out of downtown on the Gardner. It's running problem-free, as is the QEW through Mississauga, Oakville, and Burlington. So enjoy the drive. If you're just about to head out, you should make some pretty good time getting to your destination. That's it for traffic. I'll send it back to you, Tammy.
It's day 3 of the strike at York University, and it's not likely any new talks are on the horizon. The pickets will be set up once again in about an hour from now, as roughly 3,000 CUPE members have stayed off the job. The school turned down a counteroffer yesterday, claiming the union's demands are not reasonable. Now, there were delays in class cancellations yesterday. Roughly 40% of the classes were called off as teaching assistants, contract faculty, and other workers walked up to the picket lines. Now, CUPE says it's looking for job security, while York claims their latest offer is a fair one. Well, parents are ready and waiting right now. You're getting your families and your client numbers all together because it is rec registration time in the city center and in East York. We have a live look right now at the East York Community Center, where parents are starting to wake up from their lawn chairs, and they're now actually camped out in front of the community center just to ensure that their child gets a spot in registration. Registration, it kicks off in just about an hour's time, or half an hour's time now. It's 7 o'clock. You can do it online, through the phone, or of course in person if you choose to at specific community centers. And it's all for this year's spring skate and swim programs, as well as summer programs. For a full list of locations to register, you can just head to the City of Toronto's website. An update now in the case of alleged serial killer Bruce McArthur. Toronto police have launched an internal investigation after homicide detectives learned that McArthur had been previously questioned before his arrest. There are reports the 66-year-old McArthur was questioned by police several years ago, but homicide detectives only learned about that after they arrested McArthur in January. Project Houston was looking into the disappearance of 3 men from Toronto's Gay Village, but that investigation ended in 2014. No details about why he was questioned have been released, and the investigation that began on Monday is being carried out by the Police Professional Standards Unit. McArthur is charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder. Now, home prices in the GTA continue to fall, dropping more than 12% in February from the same time last year. Now, according to the numbers released by the Toronto Real Estate Board, home sales were down by 35% from last year, and prices also tumbling, with the average sale price for all housing types falling more than 12%. That's to just under $770,000. A real estate agents say that those numbers reflect the new mortgage rules and government policies.
January 1st, there was a stress test that came in, so that really made it that much more difficult for more people to purchase a home. So you really have fewer people this year that can purchase a really expensive home than we had last year. And then, of course, in January, we also had an increase in the bank rate. So the rate went up, making things just a little bit more difficult for people.
Meanwhile, prices continue to boom in the condo market as sales dropped. Prices for condos in the GTA rose more than 10% to almost $530,000, while sales fell by 30%. Just a month after a jury found a man not responsible for the death of Colton Bushy, the police watchdog will now be conducting an investigation into how the RCMP handled the case. Several complaints were filed against the RCMP from Bushy's family following his death. The investigation will now look at the events that followed, including the notification of his family, the search of Bushy's mother's home, and whether there was any racial discrimination. Bushy was killed in August of 2016 when he and 3 friends drove onto Gerald Stanley's rural Saskatchewan property. Stanley was found not guilty in Bushy's death, in the shooting death last month, sparking protest from the Indigenous community and around the country. Now, the National Inquiry looking into missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls is asking the federal government for 2 more years to finish its work. The commissioners say that they need the time to hear from hundreds of people still waiting to share their stories. The inquiry was originally scheduled to wrap up by December of this year. So far, they've heard from more than 760 witnesses during nearly 250 public, in-camera, and community hearings across the country. The inquiry was established in late 2015 to examine evidence behind a disproportionately high number of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls across Canada.